Hi, friends. This is Wendy Harrop, and welcome to the Say Yes to Yourself podcast. On the Say Yes to Yourself podcast, you'll hear stories from women just like us who are adding the practice of saying yes in their daily lives in big and small ways, and as a result, are experiencing the truth that everybody wins when you say yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself is a graceful unfolding, an intentional becoming of the very best version of you. It is my hope that in these conversations, we are able to find our truth and be inspired and empowered to live our very best lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to finding a bit of our own story in each other's. Hello, friend. Welcome back to the podcast. I hope you are having a wonderful week. I am in my absolute bliss in Edinburgh this week with my clients. It is so beautiful here. I love this city, and not just because the temperature is so much cooler than it was in France. It's just beautiful and expansive, and it invites you to be outdoors and walk and walk and walk and enjoy these ancient sites and this modern beauty. It's just such a fun place. I hope it is on your list to visit for the first time or return. It's just so great. We are having so much fun, and we did such a lovely thing. I'll tell you all sorts of things that we did in the, conversations to come, but we did this beautiful walking tour that is led by golden retrievers. It was so fun, and I had Goldens for years, and it was just delicious to get a sweet fix, and it's lovely to know that you're only gonna be walking as long as these Goldens can take it, so, it was just really fun and delightful, and I hope you are finding fun and delight in expected and unexpected ways as you are, entering into summer and all the good things that that means for you. Speaking of good things, oh my gosh, we have the coolest guest. I loved this conversation. I have so many notes all over her bio about how cool she is. We have Karla Freeman. She is an author, a trauma therapist, and a professional storyteller. After 25 years working as a therapist in Santa Barbara, she authored Creating Magic in Midlife, a roadmap to reinvention with worldwide distribution. She went on to reinvent her own life, living in Buenos Aires, Mexico, Ireland, and now Ecuador. Trained at the International School of Storytelling, Karla performs her solo show, Crossroads, A Mermaid's Tale, and leads workshops around the world on biographical storytelling and healing. Her novel, To Heal a Broken Heart, is coming out soon. Right? How cool is she? She's lived in all of these places. She's up to big, beautiful, bold things. I know you are going to love this conversation with Karla Freeman. Karla, I can already tell this is going to be a fun conversation. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Looking forward to it
Yes, it's so fun. I would love to start by asking, how are you saying yes to yourself in this season?
in this season. Oh boy.
There are seasons in a woman's life, so it can be any container of time you choose.
Okay. Okay. Well, in the present moment, I'm becoming a playwright. And as of the 28th of the month, we will have the fourth or fifth, what you call a table reading, where the actors are at a table. They have the script they don't have to memorize. And there's an audience. And after it's read, this director, playwright friend will lead a discussion. And then we'll have a little reception. And it's so close to finishing. And I'm saying yes to gathering all the resources, experiences of a lifetime into a way that my contribution is going to be global.
Oh my goodness. What a giant, gorgeous yes. I love that for you. So tell me, as the poster child for reinvention, how did you get here?
Yeah, okay. So I was thinking, I wonder how far back she's going to want me to go.
I am along for the ride, Queen. Take me wherever you want to go.
Okay, so I read before I went to school. My mother said, "How can you read that sign?" I grew up in Brooklyn. I said, "I don't know." And that was the beginning of saying yes to my imagination. Any book I read, I could be that. I don't know. You're nodding, so you probably relate. And that led to first time I was standing on the corner. This is in Brooklyn in an area called Canarsie, where really nobody wanted to live there in those days. So I'm standing there getting on the bus, and I'm thinking there's more to life than this.
Mm.
Okay. So now, fast forward, I was married quite young and divorced in my 20s.
Happens to the best of us.
My mother said, "Too many boyfriends, you have to pick one." So that was 17.
Wow.
Got married at 19.
Wow. My first marriage was at 23 and I thought I was young. Wow.
Well, you were, and so was I.
Yeah.
So, after I got divorced, I moved into Manhattan and I lucked into saying yes to a teacher friend who said, come with me to this group. It was called a leaderless encounter group where we sat in a circle and they started to reflect to me, you have insight. I said, what's that? I don't even know that I had a voice at that
Ah.
time. So, anyway, that was the alternative life of healing, holistic
Mm.
practices. We formed a group that had like a little growth center in Manhattan, and I was teaching Gestalt, and it was early days of consciousness slash healing slash alternative growth. And then I said yes to leaving New York, which was a big deal. I was a social worker at that point. I had an MSW and I
Okay.
was an administrator of a psychoanalytic mental health center training program. And they
Wow.
kept saying yes every time I had an idea for, I said, let's do transactional analysis. They said, okay, you set it up. Okay, we'll do
Wow.
this. Okay, we'll do that.
All of this that you were exposing yourself and really growing in this new movement of
Right,
self-actualization and all of these things with this group of people, you were immediately getting to integrate that
right,
into
right,
your day job
right,
as a social worker, and people were seeing the results,
right.
and your patients, clients were also seeing the results.
Yeah, I'm glad you're saying it that way because the word tribe flew in my head that we are in a tribe
Mm.
of people who live, I say, not even outside the box. There is no box.
Right? Yes, yes, yes. My second husband is brilliant and such a fabulous person, not the person for me. And so much of his life as a finance person lives in a spreadsheet. And the the form of a box, the that everything has a place, brings a lot of peace and serenity and safety to him and to his existence. Just imagine. being
Right.
married to a person whose box has no lid. And, as I became aware that my box had no lid, I just thought I was doing it wrong this whole time. So I kept, conforming to ways that, I was more pleasing to the people that were important to me. And to be aware that it's okay to not have a lid. And for you, like you didn't even have a box. Like it's
Right.
so good to give yourself that permission
Right.
to not even permission, but to allow yourself to remember what you already know on some level, in that you don't fit, quote unquote, and it's not the you part that is out of alignment. It is the trying to fit that is what was out of alignment for you.
Right. Right. And I relate to that more about my family of origin that I felt I didn't fit. And I later had the thought, since I didn't want to be that way, I'll just make it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Yeah. So the other thing I've learned about myself is for the good or the bad, I always have a foot out the door. And the good is that I've lived in 5 countries, I've traveled to 40, and I've had lots of careers, all aligned to creativity, transformation, different venues, being a speaker, being a writer, filmmaker, an artist now, tango, it's like
Playwright.
playwright. Yeah. So, yeah. So when I decided to leave New York, I was leaving a wonderful life. And yet that was the call.
Right. What was calling you?
Well, change. I had been to California and I was doing Tai Chi with a teacher, and he was going to be in Hawaii. And I don't know that there was exactly something, Wendy. It just felt like time.
Hmm.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like something's changing.
Yeah.
And because this is kind of a psychological term,
I'm here for it.
okay, we call it counterphobic,
Hmm.
meaning I don't feel fear, I just do. Meaning I
Oh,
might take risks that could be dangerous or not, in the adult sense of some kind of discernment. It just feels right. But the
right.
good thing is, I always had guidance.
Exactly. So I would love to just pause there for a minute. This idea of counterphobic, which I'm going to speak to it as an idea, not a quote unquote truth, because it's something that it sounds to me when I hear that is, ooh, that sounds like the term that someone would like to label me with, because my freedom is threatening their safety in some way, that they're worried about me. Or how some people, I mean, they just say it about anything. When I moved to Massachusetts, people were telling me, oh, you don't want a bed and breakfast, that will just, I was like, I'm sorry, have you met me? I think you don't want a bed and breakfast, which is totally fine, and
Right,
then people tell, oh, you
right,
don't want to get a divorce. Like, what are you going to do? You don't want to buy that property
right,
next to you. And what are you going to
right,
do with 30 acres? I'm going to have it. That's what I'm going to. You don't want to buy a property in France. Well, yes, I do. Yes, I did. Here I am. So it's sometimes people put their own feelings about their own growth or choices, that is totally fine. They don't
right,
have to, but making another person wrong for following their own inner
Yeah.
wisdom and their own inner guidance, which you
Okay.
had.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe there's two parts to this. So the part you're talking about, I totally relate to. I I find myself hardly sharing a lot of expansion, only with a few select people. And the little story when I was leaving, I lived in Santa Barbara many years, is when I had my longest career, like close to 30 years.
Wow.
So my neighbor, who happened to have a Holocaust background, her
Mm.
parents, she said to me one day, "What's going to happen if you go there and nothing? I was about to go to Buenos Aires, and I was selling my condo and starting again outside the US. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen?" I said, no, so I'll use her name. "Monica, I have my own anxiety. I don't need yours."
Right.
So I'm going to say there's the normal range feelings that we have when we know we need to make a change. And it's not about necessarily one feeling or another, it's this transitional time in our lives when we feel like the cocoon is breaking open and we're about to be the new butterfly, but we're kind of shaky about it. We're going, "I don't
Right.
know if the wings will work." As a playwright, I had that image. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never been a playwright. I wrote a novel, short stories, a nonfiction book, articles. I'm a writer, so I knew how to write. But plays is a whole different animal.
Right.
So, that thing where you have your house now, people are probably looking at you, admiring your courage, whatever they say. "You're inspiring me. You're blah, blah." You have your wonderful place. I looked it up. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing what you've created. It's really
Thank you.
wonderful.
There's so much more to come.
Yeah, yeah, around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all so good. So in your, and just again to pause from the story because I want to hear all of it. In your um decision to be selective about whom you share your expansive next moves with, how is that process for you? For me, I get a lot of like I feel like I'm having a conversation with one woman who has said yes, and it inspires me and my next yes. And I have good ideas during those conversations, and I'm saying them into a microphone. And who knows how many hundreds, thousands of people are listening to that. And if I had to tell 1,000 people as if I needed their buy-in before I could do it, that would be a completely different experience. So how are you finding the people that are supportive, that aren't just yes men, that
Hmm.
think everything you do is magic? And, how are you balancing that, being in community,
Hmm.
but having an accountability through aligned relationships?
That's an amazing question. I think as a speaker, that topic would be wonderful to share about the process. So, two things. One, I have a solo show. I was trained as a storyteller in England and Greece, and it's a story I wrote called Crossroads. I perform it, and
So cool.
it came from travel and the Mapuche indigenous group in Chile. I one day was there, and that's a whole long story. But I came back to where I was living in Buenos Aires, and I wrote this story about a seahorse, a mermaid, and a tree. And it has the elements of fear
Mm-hmm.
and crossroads to where healing can happen, So I'd say the second thing about discernment, trust, discernment, decision making, they're all lined up to I trust the flow and my guidance so much more. I don't have to overthink as much.
Right.
I don't attract the wrong people hardly, right?
That's right.
Right. So I'd say sacred space would be the container, right?
Yeah.
So if you and I and whoever has a place, an inner place, an outer place where we feel safe, quiet. It's taken me a long time to feel quiet is okay.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I see you in that.
Yeah, validation, premature, sharing an idea, then using up the energy. These are all like life lessons over time.
Right. And practice.
Yeah, it's number one. I don't need to tell a lot of people. I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How did you balance telling? So I am newer to this work than you, so I'm so enlivened and enlightened by this conversation. Thank you. So as you were moving more into this certainty, this self-trust, this discernment, the same discernment that told you it was time for a change was also the same discernment that told you who needs to know about it and what the next logical step is. So, as you were practicing this in the early years, how was it for you when I feel like that this is such a long way to a question? I'm formulating it as I ask it, in that I feel like there's a list of the people that you're supposed to tell big things to, like your parents, your siblings, your cousin, like the people that are bound to you by blood or by just what your history has been. And that is intersecting with I'm living a life that is very different than the one that I used to live. And so some of those people have fallen off. We're just not on the same radio station at all. But I feel like there's also, is there an obligation to tell them? Like, how did you work through that? Because I
Right.
don't want to be rude and say,
Right.
like, listen,
Right.
people, this ship has sailed and you can watch me on Instagram if you want to know what's up.
Yeah,
But I think that that's something that sometimes holds us back.
sure. Yeah. Well, two things again. One is I was watching this solo show this woman gave, and she had characters, and she had this treasure chest, and she put on this shabby clothes, and she was a homeless person, and she said, like repeating every time anybody passed, she would repeat this: fall
Mm.
down, get up, fall down, get up. The main thing is get up.
Yeah.
Be willing to do it wrong
Yep.
long enough to learn the lesson. Prematurely, I'm going to make all the mistakes. If it's like the new thing with playwriting, attended this group and I went, I don't think I belong. But then it was premature. And I thought, I'm rushing to think I'm not safe with these people, blah, blah, blah. Fall down, get up, get back to the meeting and be quiet and really listen rather than look for my needs. The second
Mm.
thing has to do with the other person. So most family only want to know you're okay. They get bored.
Right.
If they're not in your world and your creative venues, even when I went back to Santa Barbara after I was living outside the US. And my beautiful sacred space friends, when I started to talk about my life in Buenos Aires, their eyes glazed over.
Mm.
They care about me. How can they relate to leaving the US, going with two suitcases to a city that you know no one, and establishing a life? Okay, I knew two people, tango teachers.
That's cool.
The
I don't
best.
know anyone else who has followed their tango teachers to Buenos Aires. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So, change is a moving target. Safety is a moving target. Fall down, get up, do it wrong, experiment. Nobody's taking a part of my flesh if I say something and they don't understand and they say the wrong thing. I go back and I go, yeah, well, okay. They don't really interested but a lot of people surprise me with the fact that I wouldn't say my neighbor is bored, but she doesn't have the creative life I do.
Yeah.
And I've been sharing with her the play. She's been helping me. She was a teacher. Today we'll read it out loud and see how long it is for the stage reading. I've been, I wouldn't say I've enlivened, but I've enhanced
Mm.
her view. And when I first met her, I thought we had nothing in common.
Wow.
Does that
What
make
a
sense?
gift. Yes, it's such a gift. It is. I think that, I mean, you know this. We are learning this, that we are the only ones who are in our way. And sometimes we put different people's faces on that. But if we follow this inner wisdom, if we're following the guidance for what's next, we don't have to know 15 steps ahead. We don't have to know or have some guarantee of its wild success before we do the first thing. We're just what we're looking for the certainty is that I trust me and I trust God, and I know that if it feels good, it is good. And I'm going to keep moving toward what feels good. And anybody else's opinion of the optics from where they sit, that's their work. And I also don't have to make up some story that everyone thinks I'm crazy and nobody cares what I'm doing. Like you said, they
Nobody
care about
cares.
me.
Nobody
They
cares.
care
They
about
care,
me. Oh, she's safe. Oh, look, she's on a plane.
yeah.
Oh, look, there
And
she
they care
is
about
again.
themselves.
And then that's it. Like they're done thinking. So anyone who is holding off on living the life that is bubbling in their heart because of what someone else is going to think or do or say, it's just a blip. Let them think or do or say whatever they're going to think or do or say, because they're going to do it whether you get on a plane to Paris or not.
Right. And Wendy, I feel so lucky that I did the trauma therapy training
Oh my
with the
gosh.
top people. This was when I was a therapist in Santa Barbara. I knew I personally was still broken in places that therapy wasn't enough. And this system, Peter Levine started somatic experiencing. I trained, I was assistant many years, integrating some of that self regulation way of life. So, what you were saying, which was like how someone who has a core that's making sense to them has a certain way of talking about meaning.
Mm.
And you use the word story. So we have our old stories, which are important to understand who we are. no, like, oh God, this happened. You get to a point where you can hear yourself saying things that self motivate, I'm tired, I need to rest. This is the beginning. I know it's going to be a learning curve. I'll need certain kind of mushy friends to say, keep going, you're okay. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I want to do this. It looks like, oh God, I'm starting something new again. Oh, so, the whole thing is such a adventure when
Yeah.
you have tools.
Yes. And it's so beautiful because you didn't know when you left Brooklyn for Manhattan, you didn't know yet what you learned in Manhattan. And when you left Manhattan for California, you didn't know. And then you got there and then you learned, like, you're in the pioneer of all of these things that I'm swimming around in. So, first of all, thank you. Thank you for that. Yes, that has paved a beautiful yellow brick road for me to follow. But having all of this training and all of this somatic work, which you can
Mhm.
then integrate for yourself, regulate your nervous system while you follow your tango teachers to Buenos Aires, which is
Right,
so cool. So,
right.
what did you leave Santa Barbara for Buenos Aires? Or did that happen? Okay. And then
Yeah. So then, because I wrote the book and I was listening to the 101 questions and answers. And if we have time, I'm going to do a little magic thing with you.
yes, we always have time.
Okay. So, I was back and forth. They say two ways to make a big change: rip
Mm,
the band-aid off slowly or rip it up. So I was the slow, back
okay.
and forth, 10 days, a month in Buenos Aires, 7 months, 6 months, still had my condo, still had all the stress of burnout with Alzheimer's father, mentally ill sister on the street, mother really compromised,
Mm.
and I was flying back and forth. And I mean, I was, God, I can't stretch anymore moment.
You're using all the tools.
Yeah. And I made it enough to get to Buenos Aires. And then I thought, South America's so big, I should go somewhere else. Here's a magic story. And then I'll do the little exercise with you.
Yeah.
I thought it's so big, and I looked at the map like we do and go like this. So Ecuador and Cuenca, indigenous, I was always interested in shamanism and all that. And so when I went, it was Christmas here. That's where I live now, Cuenca, Ecuador. And
Cool.
they have a children's parade that starts in the morning, goes on till the evening, and the little girls have all the outfits on, and the parents are smiling, walking along, proud, and the boy with the guy with the hat and the painted mustache at 4 years old. I mean, it was so delightful, but the magic was that my friends from Santa Barbara were here.
Oh, I love that.
They were visiting their son, who's now a doctor. So this is over 10 years ago. Um, who was doing this project, which in itself was amazing, mobile surgery into the boonies where the communities didn't have health facilities. So they
Wow.
did like hernia surgery in the van with the
Wow.
Minister of Health who started the Cinturandes project. And Jonathan, Mark and Dora's son, was volunteering. So they were coming for Christmas to visit them. I had no clue they'd be here.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
Yeah, I say the city found me because I didn't pick it and I didn't, decide to settle anywhere. I was still kind of healing and not needing to be making big decisions. So I was back and forth until one day I said, I have to have a base.
Right.
And I came here, and, my life is not the same as when I left the US. So the two main things I'd say was that they fix things. They're not consumerists. And, the thing of you lead with who you are in work. They don't ask you who you are. They ask you how old you are you married? And they don't care.
Right. They're more inclined to ask about the person than the accomplishment.
Exactly. So the relief was I could walk around and see the indigenous women with their big feet in the mercados with all the fruits and vegetables. They're sitting on the floor. They had picked the naranjas, the tangerines, and then they were, sitting there just selling vegetables and fruit.
How
And
beautiful.
some of them had walked down the mountain to get on the bus to bring it there. Humility gave me humility to live here. I'm
Wow.
not that important.
Right. Right. And you've been there for 10 years.
Well, I'm getting the renewal of my immigration. So I left after 5 years and I was in Mexico, in Oaxaca, six
Okay.
months. And then I went to Dublin 6 months. And then I went back. And as a writer, when the second time I went to Dublin for 6 months, I have to try and live here. This is the city of literature, open mics, retreats, writing, storytelling, music. Have you been there?
I have been to Dublin, but I haven't spent a lot of time there. Only like one night.
Yeah, well, the people and the way of life. So anyway, during the pandemic, I applied to get a master's in creative writing,
You're so cool.
and I think it and I do it, but I now think about it before I do it. Got to tie up the horses. So anyway, that changed my life yet again because of the storytelling and the performing. And went to Edinburgh, the storytelling. It's too much in one lifetime. How much I've done.
It's so amazing. I love it. And I'm going to ask you some questions as if I'm from Ecuador, because I think this is really important for people to know, again, because it dismantles narratives that are not in service. How old were you when you left the US to live in South America, the first in Buenos Aires?
I can't remember. I'm gonna say 60-ish.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah,
And how old were you when you got your master's in creative writing in Dublin?
yeah. I can't remember 70, maybe 70-ish.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And how old were you when you wrote your first play?
Well, now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this age thing is kind of interesting to talk about. So when I wrote this book, I did all the research on aging, age wave, how people do and don't retire, what is the meaning of reinventing yourself in the second half of life, how you view money, passion, and work. It's 101 questions and answers, 2-page chapters.
It's so beautiful. And the name of it is Creating Magic in Midlife, a roadmap to reinvention.
Yeah, 101 questions and answers to reinvent your work, relationships, and life. So when I was here one time, the shaman I was working with, I said, I wrote a book. He took it, he goes like this. This
Oh,
is a really good book. And this is how to
oh,
use it. And I'm going to do it with you.
yes, please.
Pick a number, first number that comes into your head, between 2 and 209.
14.
So that is your question.
Okay.
It's not question number 14, it's page.
Oh,
Uh,
got it. Okay.
So I'm going to tell you your question, and then I tell you what happened with him when we did it. Okay, your question is, this is good. What is synchronicity
Oh, I love that.
and how does it create midlife magic?
Oh my gosh, it's 12:12 on my clock. Okay. This is such a beautiful question because just today I woke up, and when I wake up, and I get up at 4:45 every day anyway, but when I wake up and it's before my alarm, I check my watch because I want to see, ooh, do I have a lot of time left or is it almost time? It was 3:33. I woke up the next time just before my alarm at 4:44. I came out of meditation at 5:55. I looked at the next time I looked at my clock to watch to do something was 6:23, which is my birthday. And today, no joke, I've got 11:11 and today just 12:12. So then to get that gorgeous question of what is synchronicity and what does it mean for me in midlife, to me, those numbers don't, like, I don't look up and say, oh, what does 12:12 mean? And that angel number means whatever. What it means to me is I am connected to source energy, and my steps are in alignment with who I am and who I am becoming.
Yeah.
And I I'm just so excited. I'm just so
Now,
excited.
can I read the first paragraph?
Please.
Okay. I define synchronicity as a happy accident that occurs when you just show up for love. If you want more of these positive happenings, practice opening up to the magic. You'll find yourself, quote, accidentally running into people you need to see. You'll be at the right place at the right time, and you will start attracting more fortunate circumstances. Synchronicity is an event where two forces meet in a convergence of energy. Jung thought that synchronicities happen all the time.
I love it. So the book is set up with 101 questions, and you have expounded on each of those to help people move through the answering that question for themselves.
Exactly. And when people have it, I usually say, don't feel like you have to read it.
Right.
Look at the questions in the table of contents. You can open to a page. You can think of a number. That's your question. So the shaman did it. And my friend who was sitting there, who was a geographer, did it. And his number was the only map in the book.
Oh my gosh.
I
Those
have,
feels.
Substack, and I'll take parts of it and update it a little bit. And I just go like this, or I think of a number, and it's fun. Back to our fun. It doesn't have to be all that serious with rules and guidelines and bullet points. Do this, then you do that. Maybe you do the vision first, then you figure out what's in the way. You have your vision. Maybe you see what's in the way first.
Right.
Maybe you create your team first. Who cares?
Doesn't matter if it feels good, it is good. Oh, it's so fun. Like you said, I need to expand my vocabulary, but it is just, it's all happening for us. And when we are committed to ourselves, to the practices that are having us feel connected and aligned to our higher self, to God, to our inner wisdom, although we are the deliberate creators of our experience, although we are the ones that are moving toward the things we want, there's so much surprise and delight along the path of how it comes to us and who brings it and when it comes and where we are when that happens. We're responsible for the what and the why, but the who, the how, the when, and the where, that is on God's to-do list. And oh my gosh, immeasurably more than all I could ask or imagine in the way.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you a story, and it has to do with my year's theme. Well, it's love, but it's divine timing.
Beautiful.
So I wrote the play. I didn't know what I'm doing. And I went, well, I've been a therapist, so writing dialogue, I've listened to thousands of conversations. So it takes place in the Anne Frank house with a descendant of a Nazi and a descendant of a Holocaust survivor. And Anne Frank is a character.
I have full body chills. That's amazing.
And this is my mission now, Wendy. It's called restoration. I'm calling it restoration theater because it's more about the interaction after. It's got a study guide. It's all about growth now, about healing and restoration. And it couldn't be more current in the culture now. Fear of the other and generational trauma.
Yes.
So I've had, shepherding this along. I'm in playwright group and whatever, I have a mentor and I was in Santa Barbara networking and I still didn't know what I was doing, where it's all going, not making any money. And yet it feels like a legacy project. Like I want to finish it and have people use it. So anyway, synchronicity. We have an arts center and they had some event with art and people showing their goods and they had a raffle. So I walk in the door and I see the raffle ticket, how it's a line of tickets. I go, that's the winning ticket. And I bought it and
Perfect.
I won first prize.
Of
Guess
course you did.
guess what it was?
I can't wait to hear.
The use of the performance space for my table reading free,
Oh,
$250 I'd have to pay. And then I took the acting class because I needed to cast the roles. And
yes.
sure enough, the teacher, who's a playwright and an actor and a director, he's going to moderate the discussion. People from the acting class are going to read the roles up in the front. And it's so guided
Yes.
that I have no doubts. You could tell, right?
Oh my gosh, all the forces of the universe are conspiring on your behalf. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm shepherding. So as far as like the collaborative me, I had to come out of hiding because as a writer, you don't want to talk to a lot of people because they're asking you the wrong questions about how are you going to publish it. Let me finish writing. Anyway, in the acting class, I got up on the stage. We had to introduce ourselves, and I was shocked. My knees were shaking. And by the end, we all had monologues. I was in the groove, and he said, I don't know why you're such a good actress. I said, I don't know either. But, it was a transformational month with a very kind and skilled person holding space for all of us. He only said positive things to
Mhm.
everyone. We all did great at the recital. And now it's like I'm asking him, even though in the past, even in a month ago, I was, why would he want to help me? I'm just writing a play. I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm,
He changed his commitment for that day to do it.
that's unbelievable. It's so beautiful, and you're doing such amazing, inspiring work. And I would love to lovingly invite you to reframe that you don't know what you're doing,
Okay.
because you are being guided so beautifully and you know exactly what to do to receive the guidance required. So you know exactly what you're doing.
I'm going to listen to that and write it down. Thank
Every
you.
time you say, I don't know what I'm doing, then you can just wait. Oh, wait a minute. I actually know
Yeah.
exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah. Because I'm guided. You're
That's
right.
right. That's right.
Exactly. A great reframe. Thank you.
Oh, it's my great pleasure.
Yeah.
Karla, I love you so much. I
Oh,
loved this conversation. I cannot wait. I know this is the first of many, and I think they're all going to require a passport and for sure a ticket to a play. That's so fun. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you, how they can get the book so they've got their 101 questions, everything we need to know, please.
Karla Freeman Storyteller.com.
Perfect.
And yeah, so I guess that's the best way,
And the
right?
book is available from your
And the
website?
book is on, yeah, and it's also on Amazon.
Perfect. All right. Well, we will link everything down in the show notes. And I just can't wait to speak again. Thank you for
Me
being
too.
here.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. As always, any links or notes mentioned can be found at phineaswrighthouse.com in the podcast section of our site or in the show notes below. And if you haven't connected with me personally, come find me on Instagram at Phineas Wrighthouse and let me know you listened to this episode. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know your days are full, and I'm really grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time right here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of these delightful conversations. I'll see you next week.